Hey there, folks. Thanks for joining me. Couple of disclaimers I have to give you before we get into the content today. I am streaming live from Margot's apartment. It is Portugal Day here in Portugal, and it is hot, honey. So I had to rush from celebrating with the people to come here and do this live with you guys. So I am streaming from Vodafone's hotspot, and I'm using this mic. I don't know how well that's going to turn out, but give me some grace. And if this works out well, this is perfect because that means I can do this in a coffee shop and we can still get this content out and have a good time. So hopefully you all can hear me okay. And we're not going to have any glitches with the streaming. So this is all a test. We'll see how it works. So also want to thank everyone who sent me your questions in regards to your business and creating digital income and doing that whole thing. So you guys came out like a bunch of soldiers and gave me so many emails and things. So it's going to take a couple of days for me to answer the questions. So I will focus on one question in a day. And if you all don't have any questions for me live, then we'll go ahead and just end it out. And so hopefully that works. So I'm going to read an email. And when you guys send me emails, I'm not sure if it's okay to say your name. Don't nobody know your last name or your business. So I don't feel like it would matter. But if you like super sensitive, I will make up a fake name if you want me to. So I'm going to make this fake name. What's a fake name I remember? Kathy. Let's go with that. So Kathy is a virtual assistant, and she wants to know how to create other streams of income through digital products. And on one of my videos, the multiple streams of income, I mentioned a few things on how to get, okay. She started being a VA for a couple of years, and she wanted to create additional income, but she's in the getting started phase. So she didn't think it would make much sense to create content on how to get started. Now, Kathy, I'm just using a fake name. I would actually disagree there. And the reason why I say that is because it may be people out there who want to become a virtual assistant, and seeing you progressing through this process yourself can indeed help other personal virtual assistants. In addition to, it will force you to do what's necessary in your business because you have people who are relying on you for content. You're creating a community that may want to take advantage of, being a virtual assistant to be more independent, location independent for this reason. Is that my shirt? Why do I always have shirt problems? So I disagree a little bit. And if you remember, Kathy, you're watching a product of me doing something I did not know how to do. This Driven Spice channel was developed because I was moving to Portugal and I had no idea what I was doing. Now, if I would have waited to create the content after I had done everything, I guess that could have worked, and I may not have done it. But in the process of me creating the content while I was going through the process, then other people, this community developed, and they were able to give me some insight, and we were able to kind of move things around like that. So although I understand your sentiment of feeling like you don't have enough experience to create content for other people who are in that genre, there's people who haven't even considered it, and they are newer than you are. So if you want to document your process of how you're becoming a virtual assistant and how you're growing in business and how you're going about acquiring clients, that can still be an avenue for you. So I don't want you to think that that's not a thing just because you're getting started. You've been doing it for 2 years from your email, right? Did I make that up? I feel like you said you've been doing it for 2 years. So you have information, if you've been doing something for 2 years, that people that have not done it at all, they can still benefit from. But again, if that's not the lane you want to be in, that's cool. I just want everyone to understand that you do have those options. You have the option of creating content for those individuals who want to walk in your same footsteps, or creating content specifically for your key audience of customers. Okay, so I won't beat on that. And then, so you said, you've been a virtual assistant for 2 years informally, and this year you've taken things seriously with the website. Congratulations. CRM tool. I love when you get technical and use the words. Love it. and etc. You have created social media content for IG and Facebook, just as an FYI. Here's my question. Guys, if you are new to this series, I've talked about Facebook and Instagram, and specifically the type of platforms that are intranet based versus internet based, and how SEO works differently with those different platforms. If you decide to market your business on an internet type of platform, which means your customers don't have to log in order to get the content, you can get picked up better on SEO. For example, your YouTubes, your Quoras, your Pinterest, your things of that nature. People don't have to log in to get content about your business or any tips or tools you have, right? But things that are on Facebook or Instagram, if somebody wants to type in how to do X, Y, and Z, rarely is an Instagram post coming up. Rarely is a Facebook post coming up. And that was done by strategic design of the companies based on their ecosystem and how they wanted to market their content. I say all that to say, what was my point? I've been enjoying Portugal Day probably a little bit too much today. So give me a little time. So yes, so you want to market on Pinterest, and do you like competing? Okay, so you like the idea of having pre-made spreadsheets. You're going to work on that. So your ultimate question was, what other digital products could you offer your clients that is separate from your virtual services business, but can complement that? So what did I say your fake name was, Kathy? Guys, if it's too much noise, I'm sorry. I have the windows open too, and it is hot here in Portugal. So my apologies. I'll look at the playback and see if the volume and the streaming was too hard. I'm hoping you all can hear me. Okay, if you can't, just chat in the comments and let me know. At any rate, so we're talking about what additional services you can offer your clients. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say first off. You said you've been doing this for 2 years, and you also was kind enough to tell me that you are working a 9-to-5. So if you are working a 9-to-5, I'm under the assumption, I don't know if this is true or not, that you are not making enough money in the virtual assistant business to leave your 9-to-5. And that may not be your goal. Cool. But for those of you, we can hear you. Thank you so much for telling me that. I appreciate you, honey. That may not be your goal to leave your 9-to-5. In the event that it is, because again, this whole series about being a digital nomad and you wanting to have a location independent lifestyle. In the event that you want to leave your 9-to-5, I am going to strongly encourage you to focus on the core product before you go focusing on the ancillary type of products you can create to support the business, if that makes sense. Hey there, Stephanie. So for the case of being a virtual assistant, anyone who's in the services field, I want you to first write down, why does someone need you? And not you specifically, just let's say you are a virtual assistant. Why would someone need a virtual assistant? Write that down. Write all the reasons why someone would need a virtual assistant. Because here's the thing. You can do a lot of marketing, but ultimately marketing is going to depend on your message. And when people commit to spending their money, it's because this particular brand, this particular company did a really good job of making me understand why I need them. Now, in the case of virtual assistants, maybe some people may not know. But when it comes to creating content, you need to be really clear as to why someone would need you, the industry, and then your company specifically. So for those of you who are in the services industry, this is what I really want you to do. I want you to just go old school, get a piece of paper, take about 5 minutes, turn off the phone, whatever, and just concentrate on name 5 to 10 reasons. Hey there, Fernie. As to why someone would need a virtual assistant. Insert whatever industry or whatever service you provide. Why someone would need a dentist. Why someone would need the type of attorney you are. Why someone would need a personal trainer. What are those reasons? Because you writing all this down, this is ultimately going to end up being in your marketing message, okay? Secondly, I want your next column to be, why does someone need to work with your company specifically, okay? So if you are a personal trainer, if you are a virtual assistant, if you are a dentist, lawyer, whatever, why should they work with you versus your competitor? The reason why I want you to do this, because you can't make your customer who does not know you guess that. You don't want them to have to guess that. You want to make it very clear in your marketing message why you are the perfect person to choose. But if you never sit and write that down or consider that, that means you're almost requiring your customer who has just met you, particularly online, to do that assumption themselves. And that's not what you want. You want to make it super, super clear as to why they should work with you over your competitors, in addition to any objections they would have. So in order to create your marketing message or your content in a way that's easy to convert, because if you're doing marketing, conversion is going to be the key. You don't want to throw money to ads or create this content and it still sound like crickets. Then nobody care. And large companies do this all the time. Large companies miss the mark all the time because they forget who their ultimate customer is and why the customer should do business with them. So, Kathy, what I'm going to tell you is let's make sure that your systems are in place for your core business first before we focus on the other products. But I will give you some examples as to some other digital products you can create. So I don't want to feel like I wasted your time completely, but just understand I'm going to tell you to focus on your core product. When you have so much business in your core business, and maybe I didn't make that clear when I did the multiple sources of income. So if I didn't, I apologize for that. And the multiple sources income stream I did, it was with an attorney, but they already had the core business of family law in place. Okay. So that was already done. They had more customers than they needed. They really just wanted to make a transition and come out the courtroom. So that was the scenario with that person. So if I didn't make that clear, my apologies. I just wanted, what I was hoping to do was to show people how, even though they have the core product, you can have all these other digital products, whether you want to do a book, whether you want to do a template spreadsheet, whether you want to do online courses, membership, whatever. You can do those things, but I'm always going to encourage that your core business is intact first, because and I've been here, you may spend 3 months in the closet, at your desk, wherever you go to get your inspiration, I don't know, creating a product that don't nobody want. So I want you to communicate with the audience and the people that plan on working with you. So even though you can make all these digital products, my goal for you is that people actually buy those products. But if you don't build your audience, if you don't find out what your customers want, you would have spent time creating all these digital products and you have no one to buy it. So if you end up concentrating on your core service, your core business, you will start to learn things based on the industry that you already know that your customers need. Like whatever industry you're in, for most of you who have, like, you're in particular industries, you could probably say the top 5 issues your customers have. And with that, you could say, okay, so how can my expertise solve these top 5 issues that customers have? You can make those top 5 things separate products, digital products if you want. But the more experience you get in your core service offering, the better your digital products will end up being for the ultimate client. Did that make sense? I did a whole bunch of talking, and y'all gotta give me some feedback. So again, so for you as a virtual assistant, again, you can make content for both. You can make content for those individuals who are, I'm sorry, they doing the most. I know you can hear it. Oh, I'm in the city. Y'all know I don't live in the city. I live in Caxias, which is 20 minutes away from the city. So you're going to hear all types of noises in the back because I'm in Lisbon right now. Anyway, I done forgot. See, that made me forget my train of thought. So for your core business, what I'm going to suggest for you as a virtual assistant, but insert your industry here. We're going to talk about content and creating it. Okay. Consider what you're doing. If you're a personal trainer, what are the problem areas that people focus on the most when they're contacting you, or your clients come in and they're saying, oh, I'm trying to get my stomach or my butt, like, oh, whatever. That, the thing you hear often, that's what you're going to create content for, to get people to come in the doors. Okay. Insert your industry, whatever the industry is, whatever your FAQs are. That's what I want you to focus on in regards to content that you put out for marketing. Again, your content is going to be your 24-hour, 7 days a week salesperson. The more content you put out there in the cybersphere, the more you can have different avenues of people coming back to you because you gave them some information that is actually useful. You all are literally seeing me do this in real time. I'm not telling you to do something that I don't already do. Many of you who send me emails, it is because I went live. I gave you content. I gave you a download. For example, if you haven't downloaded the Digital Nomad Toolkit in the description box, download that so you can have access to me, ask me questions, and we can do this with your business, okay? But this is what I'm doing. You can do what I'm reverse engineer what I'm doing for your own business, okay? So you're going to create this content and then you will have something useful and valuable that your new prospect can download to get more information or so that you can continue to work with them. This is actually more important than a website, guys. Especially when you're just starting out. You going out there and being in as many online experiences as you can to build up the audience and build up your name is going to be the most important thing you do. And ultimately, you need to have some type of email marketing software so that you can continue to have a relationship with people. Because here's the thing, the difference about the internet versus physical business. People are rarely going to buy from people that they have never met before. Rarely. So you have to develop that relationship. But people also end up on content. There's millions of things that are competing for people's interest and attention. And so if you want to be one of those things, you're going to have to be able to continue to communicate with this person over and over again. And in order to do that, you have to have a way to contact them. That's just what this is. Now, every website that you go on is tracking where you've been and how you got there. And so if you're not incorporating those same type of touch points and data in your website, that's why when everyone asks me about Squarespace versus Wix and all that other stuff, if Wix works for you, by all means, use it. If Squarespace works for you, use it. I don't care. I use WordPress because I'm able to do a level of tracking of people that interact with me that you can't do on some of those platforms. Now, if that's not important to you, you don't have to worry about it. But what I'm stressing to you before people get caught up on the website, if no one comes to your website, all that energy is wasted. But how do people come to your website? You have to develop content. There's no other way to do this if you're going to do it free. If you're going to pay for it and you're going to pay for people to come to your website, completely different animal. But if you want people to organically learn about you, you have to create content. That is what this whole platform, the people who are here with me live, the people who are here on the recording, you are here because what? I produced content. So what I want you to do based on your industry is to produce the content. And I want you to feel supported in this. So guys, I'm gonna go live. I have enough questions. You got to send me your questions. If you want to send me your questions, be sure to download the Digital Nomad Toolkit. You'll get an email, respond back to the email. Tell me where your issues are and where you're hung up so I can help. I'm gonna help as long as I can when we're live, and hopefully it'll be helpful. And if not, just send me an email. Just let me know where you're stuck specifically. And if I can think of something that can help you, if we need to support each other, because there's a couple goals I have for this summer that if someone doesn't hold me accountable, full disclosure, I probably won't do it. I really want to complete it by this summer because the summer is usually my downtime. Like, most of my marketing clients, everybody's chilling for the summer, which is why I can go live with you and give you some of the information that I've learned over the years. So the summer is a downtime for me, but I still have like 2 things I want to complete. But the way my procrastination is set up, if no one's holding me accountable, I won't do it. So if any of you, I'm thinking about doing that. I got to figure out the technology and stuff to pull it off, but that's just a heads up. Anyway, so did I lose my train of thought? I did. That's the problem when we go live. I want to make sure that you walk away with this with something you can use and the steps that you can use. So here's again, step 1, reiterating what I said earlier. I want you, hey there, folks, thanks for joining me. And if you have any questions while you're here, put a Q by it so I know that you're talking to me and opposed to communicating with other people. But we don't have that many people on here live, so I think I can handle that. Go ahead and write down why someone should work with a virtual assistant. Because even in your talking, just like when you out parlaying and someone's like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, I'm a virtual assistant. People, boom, they will not, particularly if they don't have a digital business, if they don't have online business, and they may not all the way understand what a virtual assistant does. So they may not feel like that they don't need you, and they'll probably tune out. But it's different if you say you help, let me think of somebody who has a small business. Let's say you help digital entrepreneurs increase their conversions by taking care of some of the marketing issues so that they can focus on their business. See how that's a different thing? But if I don't all the way, listen, just write down what a virtual assistant would do on the generic form and then what you do better and differently than other virtual assistants. So when it comes time, even for your website copy, because guys, you can have a website, but if you didn't convert it well, if you didn't write the content in such a way that someone leaving your website will want to work with you, that was your fault, not the customer. So when you pull these things out about your business of what makes you competitive, what makes you great, what makes you wonderful, put that out on paper so that you can start to put this in your various marketing materials. If you don't want to just go live or show people that, you know what I'm saying? Like LinkedIn, it will probably be a wonderful place for you to market. Now, I'm not on LinkedIn, so I can't even give you no tools on that. I'm a YouTube girl, so I can give you tools on YouTube. If you want to get more clients on YouTube, then you want to consider the key words that people use when they're trying to solve a problem that a virtual assistant can fix. You follow what I'm saying? Everybody across the board, when they have a problem, where they at? They at Google. Anytime you go to the doctor said a word you didn't understand, or you ate something and now your stomach hurt and you want to know what's good, where you at? You at Google. So you want to make sure that when people are asking those questions, those key terms, those key questions that people typically ask, that your content shows up. But if you don't sit down and figure out how you want to be positioned in that area, it's going to be really hard for you to have for you to create the content, whether you want to do the content yourself or if you want to pay someone. So here's the unfortunate thing. Content is super king. And for smaller businesses, the issue that is the biggest issue is it's hard to create content and run the other aspects of your small business. I get it. I understand that. So you have to decide if you want to pay someone else to create content for you, or if you want to take one day out the week or one day out the month or whatever you can do to write a very thorough explanation or whatever on what you do so that Google cares. I would prefer you do it once a week. Once a week. That's what I would prefer. But if you can't, do it once a month. And I want it to be 1,500 to 2,000 words. Yikes, sorry, but it's the truth. We have millions and millions and millions of websites that exist in the cybersphere. And so Google's job is to get, with all this content, who has enough information so that this is going to be a thorough article so that the person who's looking for this information will get what they want. And sometimes it's a lot harder to do that with a couple hundred words. Google don't really like it, real talk. The longer the article, the longer good content the article, the more Google is going to care about it. That's why when you go to like, you see a lot of these recipe websites, and in your mind, you thinking, I just want the damn recipe. Can you just tell me how to make it? And they're like, well, when I went to Germany in 1944, my mother did. So they got all these extra words that have nothing to do. That is why they do it. That's one of the reasons why they do that. Because if you were just to put this short information of, you need some tomatoes, some cilantro, some avocado, some onions, you get that and you're immediately going to get off the website. And again, everything that is on the internet is measured. It's measured by engagement. And so the longer someone is on your website, the more engagement. Algorithms love that. So if you just give some very quick answer, YouTube ain't gonna feel like, not YouTube, excuse me, Google and all the search engines are gonna feel like the content is not as thorough. Does that make sense? Did I go on a tangent? I may have. I'm sorry, y'all. This is what happens when I go live. I don't be knowing. Okay, so I'm going to go to your questions in a second. And I want to make sure Kathy has enough to go on. My services are general administrative support, such as inbox management, research, data entry, calendar management, simple graphics. Honestly, I want you to create content revolving around that. Why would I need an inbox management? I may need it. I don't even know if I probably do. I know I need it for my DMs, but tell somebody what problem that solves. Does it free me up so that like I don't like create content about that? You do research. What kind of research? Medical research, law research. What kind of research are you doing? Because not every researcher who's researching on every topic is good. You know what I'm saying? If you would you hire a medical researcher to do law research? Nope. You'll hire someone who specifically knows how to research law information. So I know I keep going very granular with you guys, but that's because we're talking about online business, which is leaps and bounds different than 9-to-5 physical, not digital world stuff. Okay. So you got to go super, super specific. If you do research, what kind of research? Because if you just do it for, let's say, law research, then your audience are attorneys. And so you're going to market to attorneys a different way than you would market to other small businesses, medical professionals, and that type of thing. You follow me? You also do data entry. In what industry? Calendar management. That's pretty self-explanatory, and that can be understood in a variety of different industries. But tell me, what's the benefit of having someone manage my calendar? When you think about your ultimate message, think about, just keep saying like, so why does that matter? Who, you know, to be rude about it, who cares? Say who cares when you're thinking about what you're doing, so you can ultimately get to the granular level of actually who cares, so that you're marketing to the right person. I'm hoping that makes sense. Simple graphic designs. Great. Simple graphic designs for what? For social media? For my marketing collateral? What is it? But I'm going to encourage you, even though you can do all of these things, I want you to be great in a couple so that it's clear. Like I spoke to you guys before, no one wants to feel like you're the jack of all trades. And unfortunately, I think I see a lot of virtual assistants get caught up on that. There was one young woman who said she did web design, she did accounting work, she did a whole bunch of stuff, and it was like 900 things listed on her website. Not to say that this is Kathy's thing. I haven't seen Kathy's website, but I have seen other virtual assistants just say they do everything. If you're the person who say you want to do my taxes, my hair, trim my dog, and do my nails, I don't want to be there no more. You know what I'm saying? So understand, take away the entrepreneur or the CEO hat and put on the customer hat. If you were a customer, would you want to work with someone who says they do 653,000 things? Because ultimately you're going to them for one specific problem, and you want to make sure that they do that well. And so in your marketing, it's super, super important to show that this is what you do well. And this is why you're a benefit to your customer versus your competitors. I did have a glass of wine, so hopefully this stuff was coherent, y'all. Because I feel like I'm speaking like, what? It's Portugal Day here. Okay, sounds like those outside core businesses is law enforcement. Maybe. I don't know. Hey there, Bilal. Hey there. Nice. Bravo. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Is there a website hosting service you recommend? Okay, so I haven't used them personally, but I heard that, is it called SiteGround? I think that's the name of it, SiteGround. Everyone has been having really good experiences with them. I am currently with a hosting company that I hate. And I haven't had time to transfer all of the web properties that I have from that hosting company to another hosting company, which is the only reason why I'm with them. You will find that a lot of hosting companies are incestuously related, meaning they'll put branding saying they're one name, but the overall big hosting company is the same person. So I don't have a web hosting company that I like. In fact, probably every other month, I'm highly irritated by them. And I just have not. That's what I should do this summer while my time is down. In a perfect world, I would transfer everything from them and go. If I had to choose, I would choose SiteGround just because everyone's been telling me such good recommendations from them. But to be, full transparency, I have not used them before. So I can't speak to them. If anyone else is in web hosting and they have someone they like, please put that in the comments. But I listen, I hate mine currently. Okay, cool. All right. I don't think we have questions, and I can go back to sipping on some wine and enjoying Portugal Day if y'all don't have any questions. We have, I know Lawrence has sent me an email. Thank you, Lawrence. It was a great question. I'm going to handle that tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with Lawrence, and Lawrence has a online tuition service. Yes. So Lawrence, if you're listening to the recording, we'll focus on your question tomorrow. I will be with you live tomorrow. I can't say the time yet. If you haven't downloaded the Digital Nomad Toolkit, be sure to download that. Thank you. That is the way you can communicate back and forth with me. And if you have any questions specifically for your business, or you feel stuck in any kind of way, and me and the community can kind of help you a little bit, let's do that. And then we have some content to last us to the end of the week. So I'll at least be here. Oh, shoot, the end of the week. Today is Thursday. What? Oh, I'm just realizing that. Okay. All right. It's okay. We'll figure it out. So just go ahead and send your questions to me, and I'll go ahead and answer those the best of my ability. And yeah, so I'll be here tomorrow, but I don't know what time because it depends on how much I enjoy today. Sorry. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at some point. But if you guys are getting my emails, I'll send you an email to let you know what time we're going to go live, so that you can either email me your questions or you can come up here live. So we have no questions in the chat box, right? No questions. Serena, you sent me a beautiful and sweet and kind email, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, it's a lot going on here. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow.